Okay.
All right, here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Meet the 818 interview. Today, we have Alyssa, right?
Yes.
Necesito, the creator of A Tales of a Foodieholic. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
And we are laughing because this is like take two.
It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
Yes. And I have butchered her name twice already.
It's fine. It's a very complicated name.
No, it's fine. It's par for the course. What can you do? But I am so glad that you're on the show. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
that you come over. I follow you on Instagram because, oh my gosh, what fascinates me about you is the palette in which you, the range and the palette of the food that you cover and the places that
I
you
do
go
not
to.
discriminate. I love all types of food.
And I love it. Totally relatable. So tell us about you. Tell us how you started this account and how this adventure started.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm Alyssa. Covered that. This actually started like 2019. I actually one of my best friends, Camly, she was also starting off as a food blogger, foodie influencer, and we happen to live in the same area. She's like, "You want to help me out with these photo shoots?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." She would like be in charge of taking pictures of like menus and stuff, and I was just like taking pictures along for the ride. And we happened to be at one restaurant for like a whole day, and she was like, "You know what? You have so many pictures, you might as well just post it too." So that's in a sense how it started. I didn't take it seriously at all until maybe 2021.
Mhm.
That was like when things were starting to open up again, because I had all these pictures of food and I was like, yeah, sure, things are opening up. I want, and it also was just like the whole like helping small businesses,
Mhm.
because 2020 was really hard for small businesses. And if I could just promote and be like, hey, let's just keep this place alive, let's keep this place alive. This place is super affordable too. Why not? And it kind of just started from there. I started to talk to some foodie friends. I guess some restaurants caught a little bit of wind of me, and here I am now, thankfully talking to you.
No, and it's great because I mean, food is such a universal language. I mean, you talk food,
Yes.
you show pictures of food, videos of food, you're like, people are there, and it's great. So you're because you cover such like just a varied and diverse food palette palette food groups, I don't know.
Yes.
But just cuisines, there you go, that's the word. Because
Okay, yes.
you cover so many cuisines, like how do you choose, like do you go by area, or like what's that process of like going on your adventures?
Honestly, growing up, it was really just Filipino food. It
Mhm.
was Filipino food for me until maybe high school when I was introduced to sushi and Korean barbecue, Mexican food. Even though I lived in the 818 all of my life, I just never had the opportunity. And so I was just like, yeah. And the greatest thing about the 818 is that you can literally try almost every single cuisine. Like you can be in Topanga and literally, or on Canoga on the street, there's
Mhm.
Filipino food. There's Italian food, Indian food, literally on the same place. So it was just the kind of thing where like my friends and I would be like, let's just try this spot for a day and why not? And it kind of just goes like that. As opposed to like posting, if a
Mhm.
restaurant hasn't hit me up, I literally am like, guys, what are you craving? Let's do this. And if I really like the business and I want to promote it, I'm like, let me just try to take a really cute picture before we all eat. Just let me take this picture real quick and then we can just chow on it.
That's funny. So you don't usually explore alone, so you have friends going with you.
Yes, contrary to like what it may seem, I'm such an introvert that like I am terrified of like eating alone. That's like something that I truly want to work on, is like eating alone, going to these places alone. So I'll like bring a buddy and I'm like, hey, I really want to try this spot. Come with me. And it goes like that.
That is funny. Um, so you're from the Valley.
I am born and
Um,
raised in the valley.
awesome, awesome. And my question would be, what would be your favorite spots in the valley?
Oh my God. See, that's even like it just depends on the cuisine. It depends on which, because the valley is so huge too. But
It-
growing up, I don't know if you're well, for me growing up, I grew up in the Canoga
Mhm.
area. So like my Filipino spot like go to was Nipa Hut.
Ah, oh, I knew it.
Yes, like literally lived right behind it to the point where I just had to walk, go
Mhm.
near the church, and it was right there, you know? Or like we would hit up, oh my good, Casino ni Kuya is a really good one
Yes.
too. There's one in Winnetka. It's the one that sells the hopia.
Oh, hope you like it.
Yes, the
Slash Kalesa Girl. It's like hope
Kalesa
you like
girl.
Kalesa
Yes,
Girl.
yes. Kalesa girl was like my spot for like CCing stuff like that.
Yes.
Um, yeah, it was kind. Luckily I have family like that where we're like, okay, we're gonna get like Popeyes fried chicken, or we're gonna get fried chicken from Popeyes, mashed potatoes from KFC, biscuits from Church's Chicken. We're gonna get this right. But yeah, so it was definitely Filipino food. For sushi, there's a
Mhm.
place in the like Ventura slash Topanga area called New Light and Healthy. I don't know if you've
Yes.
ever been there. Yes, that
All
spot,
you
even
can
though
eat.
all you can eat. Oh, it's so great. And they're just so lovely. Been going there for years. I definitely recommend that spot. Um, let's see. Korean food, there's a place on Northridge called Muse. Muse?
Mhm.
Moose? Yeah, that place I like just go there for like their soup, bulgogi. If it's not all you can eat, and then there's Jen in Northridge. There's
Yep.
just a lot of good spots in the valley. It just really depends on whatever cuisine, but I think I have a spot for each cuisine, I think.
That's perfect. So do you, when you go around and people ask you to direct them to different spots, like do you just kind of tell them like, hey, try this out, or hey, this might be a great idea?
I literally give them like a questionnaire. I'm like, what area are you gonna be in? What are you feeling? What are you doing after? Because then it just depends. Like, are you guys gonna drink after? Are you looking for something super heavy? Are you looking for super light? Because I really just want to just give them the right spot the
Mhm.
first try. I feel bad whenever they're like, ah, that wasn't exactly what I was looking for, or something like that, you know? But yeah, like I get so detailed, it's so ridiculous about it.
So what's the process? Like when you try the new, when you try a dish, like do you dissect it? Like I'm trying to get into your head. Like how does this adventure go? And uh how does a restaurant determine, like if they, for example, reach out to you and try to advertise through you? Like what if it's like something that you're not 100%, good with? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I totally get that. So for me, like I am the type of person where I don't like I don't know if it's like controversial, but I
Mhm.
don't like leaving bad reviews per se. Like I'm down for giving honest reviews, but I
Mhm.
think like it's still someone's livelihood. You
Yeah.
know, someone I was like, maybe they just had a bad day. Maybe it's just not my cup of tea. And I've had it where I've been to restaurants and I've been like, you know. So and then of course they're asking me to like post these videos. A lot of the restaurants nowadays, they're wanting like the world of Instagram is like reels now, very similar
Mhm.
to TikTok. And I guess they like my quirky videos, so they want something like that. So when it's something I don't particularly like, I just use colorful adjectives, I guess, to be like, wow, this was really interesting. Or like, I think someone who's into spices would be really, because I'm such a
Mhm.
baby when it comes to spices or something like that. And I'm like, if you're into hot stuff, this is for you. Maybe not for me, but for you for sure, that type of thing. So I genuinely like that's how I go. And then when it comes to like trying the food, my friends have said it too. Like, I don't know if like my followers feel tired of it, but there's like a
Mhm.
genuine look of like happiness that comes into my face when I like the food that I
Mhm.
try. And I make like weird sounds. Even like I'm just like, oh my god, it's so good, or it's like, this is amazing. But I'm also not the best at describing it. Like you're not gonna hear me be like, you know what? I taste the oak. This is super nutty. I feel the aromas or whatever shit. I'm just very like, dude, this shit's bomb.
And that's funny because that's exactly what I was kind of thinking. Like as a foodie, you're like, I'm tasting the smoke in this
Right.
aged bacon for, this aged bacon that's been aged for 2 years. Something
Right.
like
Like so some people can tell the difference when it's been smoked for 3 months versus five
yeah.
years or something like that. But that's another thing that I want to learn from this is just to be able to eloquently say those things. Because I could be like, I'll be with my foodie friends and I'll be like, why does this taste so good? And they'll be like, oh, it's the smokiness of this or that. And I'm like, oh, that's what it is. Or I love when like waiters or chefs come out and they just tell me more about the food and I get to learn more about it. And then from learning that, I want to be able to express that in my videos, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it's awesome. Like your videos are super fun. Like I love watching them because it's such a quirky take on how you're not reviewing reviewing food per se, but you're kind of just bringing attention to it. And
Yeah.
and what was it, the ramen, one of the ramen ones, like I was watching it, it was like, ugh, I need ramen, I need to go ramen now.
Yeah, that's I guess what I'm like hoping for, because if you're looking for like an Anthony Bourdain type, like I was like, I am not skilled at all to like tell you like exactly what it is. But if you're hungry and you're like, what should I eat? And you look at my video and you're like, I should eat that. I feel like that my job's been done. Type of thing.
That's funny. That's funny. So I know like local places that's easy to try. Like you find it all over the place, and you kind of just drive down and you kind of go, ooh, there it is. There's a place I want to try.
Right.
But
That's basically what it is that I try to do.
I understand that. I'm totally there with you.
Yeah, and I think it's like we're also living in a culture where like you see like the newest trend and you have to drive all the way somewhere to get it, when it's like, wow, like we've literally had the same stuff 5 minutes away, 2 minutes away. It's just been there. That's just, I guess, how I feel about certain places.
No, I gotcha. In the time that you've been doing, your food adventures, did you feel like the Valley foodscape has changed at all, or do you feel like it's been more diverse, or um, do you feel like we have more restaurants that have different things in the 818?
Oh, for sure. Like I feel like, or I don't know if it's just my lack of knowledge at the time, but as a kid, I felt like we had to drive to Chinatown or
Mhm.
drive to LA just to get like good ramen or, you know, good like Chinese food. Like that's just how my family saw it, as like, oh, anything in the valley is okay. Let's just go out here real quick, buy a bunch of food and then just have leftovers for a week. Like that's how it was. But I feel like as I'm exploring more of like the valley, I'm like, no, like there's really bomb ramen. Like there's always been good ramen near that Norge area, like Futaba ramen.
Mhm.
There's a bunch of ramen spots opening up in like Granada, Topanga. And I think it's awesome because I think the 818 is starting to see the value of diversity. Because I feel like as a kid, there was like the boom of like Cheesecake Factory, BJ's,
Mhm.
Eureka, stuff like that. And now they're like, no, we're starting to want, like, they're starting to see through social media, like, no, they want to try all these different foods. Let's highlight it. So I think there's definitely a good projection of diversity in the 818 compared to when I was younger,
Yeah,
for
no,
sure. And I'm totally for it. Like, there's such good boba spots in the valley now that I was like, wow, I literally had to travel an hour to get this before.
no, I got you. I mean, before Mommy King came to the Valley, we would have to drive to LA to
Right,
get Mommy King.
mommy? Exactly. Like, to actually get good mommy, like, you would
Mhm.
have to drive, like, far, or, like, even before it was just, like, going to Panorama City to, like, get it. And now there's just a bunch of spots opening up. There's, like, diverse, where before there was, like, Ninong's, and
Mhm.
now there's Breadology that's also Filipino-owned. Cafe Aficionado is Filipino-owned. So there's definitely, I think, a lot more confidence in owning a small business in the 818 and succeeding, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely, absolutely. What cuisine do you feel that we could have more of in the 818?
More of in the 818. You know what? I think, but this could have just been from like me traveling.
Mhm.
I think more Central American food and more like Caribbean food, more African food. That's just like some of the ones that I'm like, oh, I haven't really seen in the valley. So if you heard it, please send them my way because I am craving that stuff right now
I
for
will
sure.
send it your way, I promise.
Yeah. And if I do find it, I'm gonna be like, look, you guys need to try this place out. It's great.
No, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think I have a couple for you. I haven't tried them myself, so I can't
Well, girl,
vouch.
let's set it up. Let's go together.
Ooh, collaboration idea.
Yes.
No, I'm down for that. We should do that. Like just we should do that. We'll talk after.
Yeah, I'm so down. I am so down.
But yeah, but so many people are featuring food, cuisines. So many IG accounts feature food. How do you feel your account is different from everyone else's?
Oh God.
I know, didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I just, I think we touched upon it earlier on, but
Right. Um, I think when I got like super serious about it, because I will admit, or before you found me, I guess I won't even say I'm big, but before you found me, my food handle was like Necesito Food or something like that.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, again, because my last name's Necesito, it just made more sense to me. And the reason why I changed it was because my friends were like, no, like you're a foodie, you love food, and you just it's like a tale of it. Like it's like, oh, chapter 500, she goes to this. How did that go, you know? So maybe the difference is just like I hope people just see like a natural, like, oh, this isn't like fake at all. Like she's just genuinely weird and quirky and just likes food, you know? I'm hoping that's what makes me different from it. I think I also just happened to like catch on to the real scene a little bit.
Mhm.
Like I hopped onto the little train that's connected to the bigger train type of thing. But yeah, I think just me like not trying to hide my quirkiness and because this is unfortunately how I talk to all of my friends where
It's not unfortunate. It's a good thing.
yeah, like or I guess yeah, like I just want to like make people feel good, people feel comfortable and invited, that type of vibe. So I guess that could be it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Are there any other restaurants that you feel like you want to try in the future, or what other restaurants do we look forward to on your account that you're going to be featuring?
Well, there's definitely some, so for sure. Like I literally I'm like I should post something today. But I think I'm very interested because I've been seeing a lot of like pop-ups of like night markets because before it was just the 626 night market
Yeah.
and I believe like I think the Valley might be doing something too. I don't know when, but like just hopefully seeing that and I think just exploring more of the 818 because the 818 has such good food that's been here for so long that I think gets like dismissed or is just super underrated just because it's always just been there. So
Yeah.
maybe more like mom and pops that I might have overlooked because it's just been there. That's definitely something I do want to promote more. It's just more mom and pop small businesses in the valley.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Where do you see yourself in a year or two with your adventures? I know
I was
it's a
like,
cookie cutter
girl,
question, but
okay. No,
just
no,
yes.
no, it's totally fine. I was like, girl, if you're about to talk about life, I don't know. With this, I'm in a year, I really hope that I can possibly just have a better connection, just more with more foodies and just be able just I just want to be known as a reliable source for people if they want to know good food and it's not something that they're like, oh, she's faking it. Like I'm hopefully a year I could just be that to a person and that'd be great. That's all I would want at the end of the day.
No, and I think you're doing fabulously. Like I think, and I know I asked the question, but I think the one thing that sets you apart is really definitely your quirkiness and just your animation, like the way you present the food is just,
Oh,
I
thank you.
think
I appreciate that.
I think that's what makes your adventures like just interesting to watch, because it's like, you're not afraid to be quirky, and I can't speak right now. But you're not afraid to be quirky, and you're not afraid to be yourself, and I think that draws a lot of people as far as, following your account and um following your adventures as a foodie. But that's just me.
No, I appreciate it. Like if someone can be like, yeah, I like her stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad. I'm really glad.
But that's awesome. So with that said, is there any final words that you want to share as a food adventurer, or any advice that you can give people who want to go through the same path as you?
If if I can give any advice, I honestly say to just go for it. Like everyone takes pictures of their food. There's nothing to be embarrassed about or anything like that. And like luckily there's such a nice foodie community that if ever you feel like no one's gonna like appreciate it, there will definitely be someone who will appreciate you sharing what you love. And yeah, just thank you so much for inviting me out. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, where and what this is the part where you get to advertise.
Oh, okay.
Where can they follow you? Or where can they catch you, DM you, you know?
Yeah, well, so my Instagram handle is Tales of a Foodieholic. I do have a TikTok, just started that. I feel like such an elder millennial. I don't know how to do that, so I'm so sorry. But it's Tales of a Foodie because apparently too many words. I don't know. But yeah, so Instagram handle, Tales of a Foodieholic, and TikTok, Tales of a Foodie. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Really
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
inviting me.
I can't wait to catch any more of your adventures. Everyone, follow Miss Necesito
Follow
on,
me to 818.
on her foodie adventures, and we'll catch you guys next time.